Hello everyone, my name is Ruben. I'm an instructor here in the state of Georgia. I am going to walk you through a pre-trip today. I like to help people learn this pre-trip before the day of their exam. So I would like to walk you through the pre-trip the way I do it, the way I teach my students. Everyone has passed with this pre-trip that I teach. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to start with our walk-up, our A section, which is your engine compartment, and then we'll do B section, which is your cab, and then we'll do C section, which is the trailer, and then we'll jump into the coupling at the end, and then we'll do some in-cap. All right. So we're going to start with the walk-up. Okay. So on your walk-up, you want to look at the front of your tractor, okay? You want to look at everything that you see in the front of your tractor, okay? And we are going to begin with the clearance lights, okay? All right, so your clearance lights, they're properly mounted and secure, not bent, cracked, or broken. They are amber in color, and we will check their function when we do our in-cap, okay? Then we're going to look at our mirror mounts and brackets. Okay, mirror mounts and brackets, properly mounted and secure, not bent, cracked, or broken. And then we're going to look at our headlights. Okay, headlights, properly mounted and secured, not chipped, cracked, or broken, clear in color. And they two functions, high beam and low beam. And within the headlight, we have our multi-function signal light, amber in color, not chipped, cracked, or broken. And they have signal light, four-way flasher, and running light. And we will check their functions when we do the in-cap. Okay. We're gonna look at our tag. Tag is properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. It is legible and up to date. Okay. Then we're going to step back and kind of look under the tractor. Okay. We want to make sure that under the tractor you do not see any puddles. A puddle may indicate that there is a leak. It could be from power steering, fuel, or coolant. Okay. We are also going to pay attention that we do not see any hanging wires or hanging hoses that can get caught up and cause a problem. Okay, so now that is the front of our tractor, our walk-up. Now we're going to go inside the engine. Okay, engine compartment. If you come with me, we're going to open the hood. All the hoods have latch that holds them closed. All right, holds them securely. So we're going to pop this one open, come to the other side. And pop this one open. Okay, once we got those open, we're going to come and pull the hood forward. All right, so the hood, to open it, you just put your foot in the bottom piece here, grab the hood with two hands and just pull it forward towards you. Okay, now we're going to come around and start on the engine compartment. Okay, so on the passenger side of the engine compartment, we're going to be focusing on a few things. We're going to begin with the hoses. We're going to look at all our hoses and make sure that they have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and they are not leaking, and that they're properly mounted and secured. Okay, we're going to focus on our coolant reservoir. We'll make sure that it's properly mounted and secured, that it has no chips, cracks, or broken, that is not chipped, cracked, or broken, has no leaks, has its cap in place, and your cap should be on tight, and the rubber seal inside the cap should not be cut, torn, or dry rotted, and it has no signs of leaks. And your coolant reservoir, your coolant should be between your minimum and the max level. Okay, from here we'll come down to our washer fluid reservoir. Is not chipped, cracked, or broken, and it has no leaks, and the cap is in place. Okay, then if we look back in here, okay, we have what is called the water pump. Our water pump is properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and there are no signs of leaks. And it is belt driven. Okay, we have a belt. Okay, our belt is properly mounted, secured, is not cut, torn, or frayed, and is not dry rotted. Okay, and there should be no more than 3/4 inch of pull in the center. Okay, and now we're going to go to the driver's side. Okay, now we're on our driver's side of the engine compartment. We're also going to look at all our hoses, make sure that they are properly mounted, secured, they have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Okay, and that they are not leaking. Okay, we have our power steering reservoir, which is properly mounted, secured, is not chipped, cracked, or broken, and it is not leaking. Our fluid is between the minimum and the max level. Okay, we also have a cap that is properly mounted, secured, not chipped, cracked, or broken. The cap has a rubber seal on the inside that is not cut, torn, or dry rotted, and there is no signs of leaks. Okay, whenever you're talking about a part that you cannot get your hands to or even get the stick to point at it, please point in its general direction. Okay, mind you, this hose that we have here, okay, leads us to the power steering pump, which is tucked in the back there. We do not see it, so that indicates that it's gear driven. So we'll say that it's properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, there are no signs of leaks, and that it is gear driven. And here we have our belt driven alternator. It's properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. There are no bare or frayed wires on our alternator. Okay, and it is belt driven. Okay, and then back here we have our air lines, properly mounted, secured, no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts. They are not leaking. And these lines lead me to our air compressor, okay, that we cannot see, but it's tucked in the back. These lead us to that air compressor, which is properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and I hear no leaks. Okay, we have a oil cap and dipstick, both properly mounted, secured, not chipped, cracked, or broken. My oil cap is in place, and the rubber seal is not cut, torn, or dry rotted. My dipstick is where I check the oil level. You will pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, insert it back in, take it back out. If the oil level shows at the add line, you will add 1 gallon of oil. Okay, our steering shaft is properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and has its U joints that are properly greased. Okay, this will take us down to our gearbox. All right, our gearbox is properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and there are no leaks. It will take us down now to our pitman arm, properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. Okay, our drag link, this is our drag link, properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. Okay, we have a upper control arm, which is also properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. And if we look in the back here, I'm going to point the stick to our lower control arm. Our lower control arm, that is properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. Okay, and then from our lower control arm, we're going to go to the tie rod, properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. Now all of these components, tie rod, lower control arm, upper control arm, our drag link, and our pitman arm, they are all held together by a castle nut and cotter key. Okay, we have one here, we have another one here. Okay, and there is one tucked in the back where our lower control arm is, which is here. Okay, that is all our steering components. Okay, now we're going to go into our suspension. Okay, we have a front leaf spring hanger, which is properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. We have the leaf spring, which is properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and it should not be shifted. Okay. We have our U-bolts. We have one, and we have two U-bolts that are properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and they have all of its proper hardware on the bottom. Okay. Then we have our rear leaf spring hanger. Okay. It's properly mounted, secure, not bent, cracked, or broken. Then we have our shock absorber. Our shock absorber is properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and it is not leaking. Okay. Those are all our suspension components. Now we're going to get into our braking. So we have a brake airline, which is properly mounted, secured, has no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and it is not leaking. That will take us to our brake chamber. It is properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, and there are no leaks. And it is held together, brake chamber is held together, two parts, by the C-clamp. This is our C-clamp. Okay, not missing. Now we'll go into our push rod and our slack adjuster. Slack adjuster, push rod. They're properly mounted, secure, not bent, cracked, or broken. Okay. They are held together. These two parts are held together by a clevis pin and a cotter key. There's a cotter key here and a clevis pin. Okay. And when engaged, this should be at a 90-degree angle. Okay, 90-degree angle. And when disengaged, we should have no more than 1 inch of pull on this piece. All right. Now we're going to go into our brake lining and our brake drum. All right. Again, our brake lining is in the inside, like a brake pad or brake shoe, and our brake drum. They are properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken. Our brake lining should have no less than 1/4 inch of thickness. Our brake drum should have no illegal welds, and there should be no dirt, oil, or grease in between the brake lining and the brake drum. Okay, that's all of our brake components. Now we're going to go into our tire. So we have the inner and the outer and the top of the tire. It's all properly mounted and secured. There are no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and there's no dry rot, and this should not be leaking. Okay. The top of our tires should be wearing evenly. Okay. And we should have no less than 4 30-seconds of tread depth in between each major groove. And these steer tires should be virgin tires. Okay. They cannot be recapped. Then we're going to come to our wheel, the rim. It's properly mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, has no illegal welds. Then we have 10 lug nuts that are properly mounted and secured, none are missing. Okay. There is no signs of rust trails or shiny threads that would indicate that there is a loose lug nut or a recently removed lug nut. Okay. And there should be no cracks on these wheels. Those cracks would indicate that these lug nuts were over tightened. And then we have our metal valve stem and cap, which is also properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, not leaking. Cap in place. And on this valve stem, we will check with a tire gauge to make sure that our tire is set to manufacturer specification or no less than 100 psi. Then we have our hub seal that is properly mounted, secured, not bent, cracked, or broken, has all its hardware, and it is not leaking.